maybe one, because we have Famous. I think is he HEXICAN? Yeah, P is for Pulse. Maybe Famous can answer this. Why is Hex not trying to build an Ethereum L2?
Because, well, Hex doesn't have a team specifically, right? So there's no one that could do anything. The code is immutable. Nothing's being done to it since the day it's launched.
Okay,
but the thing is
yeah,
that
yeah. But what about Richard Park?
we're just creating a thing called Pulsechain. So
But Pulsechain is not an L2,
no,
right?
it's an L1.
Pulsechain's
It's an L1,
but it's an L1, right?
But I think that the question is really at the end of the day is like, well, what's happening with our L1? So if we look at the Ethereum W and Ethereum Fair, what they did, not what they are, what they did, right? So they system state copied the whole thing and gave everyone exactly what they had on the other side. That reduces the problems in which we've seen before in other EVM chain splits, such as Binance, such as AVAX, such as other things, where Phantom and so on and so forth, where you had to bridge in the asset in order to give value to the system. Now we have this certain the coins are already on the other side, so there's no need to bridge over something to give it value. What you need to do is create ratios on the other side, and then you can have this sort of work in between. Let's say, as an example, Ethereum and Pulsechain. Well, you could bring in assets either way. Usually we're used to taking what's valuable and bringing it to the other side to make the other side valuable. But now in this situation, which has never been done before, is what if you could take what's not valuable at first and bring it to where it's valuable and then pair it so it creates a value. And then there you have a ratio dependent on what is worth something. And then the whole ecosystem can generate a value due to certain ratios. So the oracles are necessary in order to literally talk to certain off-chain demands. But on-chain, the ratios are king, in my opinion. The oracles are not really needed.
Yeah, but that still doesn't answer my question of why Pulsechain is its own L1 rather than L2. Because I think it makes more sense to be an L2, because if you're an L1, you have to rely on these bridges, right? And they're not secure. It's not possible to make a really cryptographic.
But that's where you're wrong.
Bridge.
You don't have to rely on the bridges because everything's already on the other side. We're so used to having these bridges because there's nothing on the other side. Someone creates a brand new L1 with nothing there, and it's like, well, hey, bring your coins over so you could do something with it on the other side. That's nonsense, because then you're creating this whole, like you said, risk where bridges, like I agree, are one of the main causes for most of the hacks. And it doesn't create, it creates this like, oh, well, what happens to the funds if the people leave? But the thing is that with Pulsechain and the way that certain things are being done now, where the system state gets copied fully, you have already your coins on the other side. It's not that they're not valuable. It's just that, okay, well, what's the ratio between this and that? Now you can bridge over certain coins, but you don't need to bridge over in a quantity to make it worth. You just have to bridge over some.
Yeah, right. I mean, you can do that, right? You can have a copy of.
But you can't do that on you can't do that on AVAX, on Phantom, on the already existing chains. That's why people look at it like, it might not work. But when they understand that 100% of all the coins that already exist are gonna be on the other side in the key holder's hands, right? So if you own the keys to that wallet that owns whatever, the Link or the Aave or the Ethereum, even because the Ethereum turns into Pulse, you actually have those keys on the other side.
Yeah. I mean, there are some problems with this. Like, ETH is not actually properly decentralized. It still has a huge reliance on centralized stablecoins like USDC. So most likely the USDC token that's over on the chain side is going to be, it's probably not going to be worth literally zero, but it's going to be worth very close to zero, because USDC will say we will not honor redemptions from Pulsechain. Will only because otherwise, like,
I agree with you. I agree with you. But for me, the only important thing is that will the exchanges use Pulse, right? And I think they will. I think the exchanges will use Pulse because, one, they'll have already someone with it, so they can make money. But the beauty, the beauty in it is that all exchanges, right? All exchanges own all your crypto. Anyone who has crypto on an exchange, they own it because they have the seed phrases to all the wallets like Binance. I know it's a real wallet, but they own the seed phrase to that. But the beauty is that they'll have already the coins to give you if you want to go on Pulsechain. So there's no need for a bridge because the coins already exist in the hands of those that are producing it.
Right, but the problem is, because Ethereum still has these centralized stable coins, all of the other stuff is tied up to that, right? So if you have some kind of ecosystem on Ethereum like Uniswap or GMX or whatever, if it's touching USDC, then the version on Pulsechain just isn't going to be the same because it's going to be touching a fake USDC that's actually worth 0. And I mean, like this. I mean, I think there's something certainly interesting.
100%, but the ratio will have a problem at the beginning. But people can't tell us that it's worthless because, well, what happened with ETH? People went in and out. Yes, there wasn't a high liquidity because not everyone used it. But if someone's going to tell us that it's going to be worthless, not really. Yeah, you're right. The USDC, the USDT, those coins are going to be whatever, but that's due to the ratio. Only simply due to the ratio. But if we fix that ratio, there could be a certain je ne sais pas quoi that will happen. It's never been done before, you know? So, like, people, you can't say it won't happen because this has never been done before.
Nobody is going to pay one real USDT for a fake USDT, right? Like, that's not going to happen.
We just find an infinite money glitch.
Yeah, right. Infinite money glitch. But clone each state.
Clone it 7 times. You got 7 times.
But you guys,
infinite money glitch
that your USDC coins, your stable coins are not that stable. Even on Ethereum, they're most of them.
They're stable.
Most of them have problems with the way that they're back. You know.
Yeah. But okay, maybe you could say that for Tether, but you certainly couldn't say it for USDC or USDP. I mean, it's actually quite interesting. What would happen to Tether on Pulsechain?
Well, I can actually say that because if you go look at the liquidity between USDT and USDC, it's not 1-for-1. There's still a percentage of one being worth more than the other. When I hold something, the USDC is not 1-to-1. It's a ratio. People still haven't understood.
The question is, where is it pegged?
No, but crypto is
what does that mean?
I mean, look,
it's literally a ratio, and then the ratio when you trade in between it creates a different ratio. So the stable coins are not that stable.
Right.
But you can redeem.
I can redeem anything I want. I can redeem anything I want.
No, you can't.
I don't understand where that comes in. I could redeem my ETH. I could redeem my BNB. I could redeem my. You can't.
You can't.
What do you mean? So you guys are saying I can't cash out any of my crypto? I can only cash out.
No. What I mean is you can take USDT to Tether and get $1 per Tether coin. You can get that. That's what I mean by redeeming. So if you had your Pulsechain and you had 100,
you cannot, because if you go look at the ratio of how much USDT and USDC are worth, you're actually not getting 1-for-1. You're not. When you go trade it on an exchange and you say, okay, I want to take my USDT and put it in USD, right? If I go on my Binance and I say I want USDC and I want it in USD, I'm not going to get the same amount. I'm going to get whatever the ratio is between them.
But that's on the local exchange.
Yeah, I don't care about one exchange. I'm talking about the biggest exchange in crypto, and that doesn't work like that because the coins are not actually $1. It's supposed
right, but famous. Let me just explain this for everyone's benefit. So basically, the way stablecoins like Tether and USDC work is the organizations that mint those are supposed to back them with real dollars in a bank account or US government bonds, treasuries, like T-bills, right? So if you have $1 million worth of the Tether token, you can take that Tether token to Tether, or if you have 1 million USDC tokens, you can take those tokens to Circle, and they will burn those tokens and deposit real dollars into your bank account. Now, if you do something like Pulsechain, and you just copy the whole thing over, then you're not going to be able to redeem those centralized stablecoins with their issuers.
Exactly.
So they're going to trade for basically zero, right? Nobody's going to pay you for an unredeemable fake USDC, right? So it's going to trade at zero, or pretty close to zero, right? Now, I do think there's something interesting here, but I still don't think it quite... Well, maybe it does sort of answer my question, because maybe the plan with Pulsechain is to sort of copy the value on Ethereum and then have a different ecosystem where all the same stuff exists and you don't have to
copying the ratios.
Spend the money.
We're copying the ratios, and then there's also Trello. That's an oracle that is coming and working in with one of the I don't know if Sloth mentioned that, but they're actually working with one of the stablecoin providers that are being created on that. But even at that, the way I look at it is like, how many people actually go and claim their USDC with USDC? Which Century? Right. It doesn't work like that. It's that
most people don't. Most people don't.
I would say 99% of people don't. In crypto.
Well, I think in fact with Tether you actually can't, because Tether will only allow certain approved organizations to do redemptions. But with other stablecoins like USDP, anyone can do it. So with USDP, you can create an account on Paxos, put in your bank details, and you can literally redeem your USDP and have the money go straight to your bank account.
But I don't think it's a one-to-one, though. I think it's really
It is a one-to-one. It is a one-to-one. With Paxos, with USDP, for one USDP token, you get $1 in your bank account.
Hey guys, could I just jump in real quick and try to?
Oh yeah, sure.